Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my presentation. Today I'm going to outline the project on our perceived value-based innovation model for the fresh cut fruits. So the focus of our research is actually to direct our innovations based on consumer perceptions of our product in focus. So our product in focus is fresh cut fruits. What are fresh cut fruits? According to the International Fresh Produce Association in 2005, these are initially called lightly processed or minimally processed, and these are whole fresh fruits that have been peeled, trimmed, cut, washed, and packed to increase its greater functionality without decreasing its fresh-like properties. So let me just use this one. Not so familiar with that. So the goal of our project is to develop an approach to understand the product attributes that are mostly valued by our consumers and direct the product development research to deliver higher perceived values. And these are some examples of the purchase drivers that we have gotten from the literature. And for most of the literature, they're actually focused on the product quality, specifically on freshness and sensory appeal, not much on the shelf life because these are actually being marketed as convenient products. So, right, here in this study, we actually want to validate that one here in Australia, specifically in Sydney, as this is mostly available in Sydney and mostly valued. So with that research goal, we actually aim to assist our industry in improving the consumer acceptance and increase in the sales. So the key here is actually to outline the fresh cut fruit supply chain and also our research approach. That is basically starting with understanding consumer perceptions, like we would want to ask them what they like about the product, what they do not like about the product, and also their willingness to pay for the innovations that they want to see in the product. And to take this research in a whole process perspective, we are collaborating with our partners from CSIRO. They're actually helping us out with science, technical expertise on the knowledge and science about the fresh cut fruits. And we are also collaborating with our partners here, Woolworths and Perfection Fresh. Thanks for coming over. And I would like to highlight that we are doing this innovation based on consumer price point sensitivity because we don't want to waste anything. And with this, we are aiming to support the sustainable production and consumption of the fresh produce. So what am I currently doing? I'm based in Sydney at the moment, and I'm regularly going to Perfection Fresh to look at their production operations, to have a whole understanding of what they're doing and how it affects the sensory quality of the fresh produce, specifically on the flavor aspect. So that's from receiving of the raw materials to processing and down to packing of the cut fruits. So with the permission of Perfection Fresh here, I'm able to show you how they do the cutting. How is that? So how they actually pack the cut fruits in the production plant. So in this video, you will see here that we have 3 people doing the filling of the cups. So basically the sequence of filling up the cups is based on fruit density, based on fruit leakage, and based on color, as we also want it to be appealing to our consumers. So these people in the conveyor line are assigned with specific fruits to fill up, and once they fill that up, it's this person here does the actual weighing of the cups, and then in this video you will see that they're actually refilling it with rock melons, cut rock melons. Let me just hasten that up. I can do that. That one here, and as soon as they have attained the desired weights, which is approximately 220 grams. That's right. So it goes back to the conveyor line, and this person here is filling it up with sporks. Sporks are actually just a combination of spoon and fork. I have a sample later, which I can show you. And by the way, after my presentation during the break, you can go in that area over there. I'll be preparing fresh cut fruits for some samples. And so after that filling up, it goes to this sealing machine here with assigned temperature as well as use by date. As it goes to the sealing machine, and it comes out here, and it goes to the other room for further packing for delivery to the retail markets. So that's about the processing operations. So what else am I doing? So talking about freshness, we're actually wanting to measure freshness. So we want to develop a test that will help us measure that. And we have the CSIRO Agriculture and Food at North Ride helping us on that. And we are using this gas chromatography mass spectrometry just behind me in the photo. So what we're doing is that we are conducting subsequent steps to identify what the flavor compounds are in the product and measure that as an indicator of freshness. So aside from that, we're actually using the proton transfer reaction mass spec. So how is this different from the previous one? The previous one is a bit longer for the experiment, so it takes about 30 minutes to an hour to do the experiment. But this one here is very fast. So by just running the actual sample, so we don't have to prepare the samples further, we can get results for 4 minutes. And this is very useful for our project because we want to make some interventions, and then we can get the results right away. So to help us understand what kind of data are we getting from these experiments, these are some examples. So in terms of measuring freshness using flavor compounds, we've done this one in cut apples. So this graph would actually show us the difference or the changes in the volatile flavor compounds. I say volatile because these are the compounds that can be detected by the machines that I've shown you earlier. So in this graph, you'll see that there are decline in the concentrations of the flavor compounds, indicating a decline in the freshness. So what do we want to do with this data? We want to make use of this to make interventions, appropriate, effective, and efficient interventions to minimize these changes. So we've actually done this one in apples as well. So the major fruits that you use for cut fruits for Woolworths actually. Pineapples, apples, rock melons, and watermelon. So if you have some questions about that later, I can accommodate, but let me just go through this. For the consumer work, I've done preliminary experiments for the consumer work here in Sandy Bay campus and also at Newnham campus. So in this left photo, you will see the actual sensory testing of the cut fruits that I've done in Newnham campus. So I've used faculty and staff as my respondents. And in the right photo here, you will see common faces in the in this venue. So I've asked for their help to do the practice focus group and discussion so that I can be that ready when I go back to Sydney and conduct the actual work. So where are we now in the research schedule? So let me just go through this very quickly. Ideally, we wanted to start with the consumer work, do the focus group discussions, interviews, because we want to get product cues that are mostly valued by our consumers and work from that. Like linking those product attributes with product components, which we can manipulate or which we can make interventions that we can work with CSIRO and use these outputs from these research steps to do this innovation cycle of product development and testing. And so we can then, with favorable situational context, higher willingness to pay, higher preference, we can then assist the industry with consumer acceptance and repeat purchase. But right now, we are still doing these research steps at the moment. So we would want to attain this as the soonest time possible, so then we can benefit from the research. And so the next steps in line are actually to do the consumer work, but first we would want to have a pre-visit in the consumer facility of our partner industry here, the Woolworths, and have access and communicate to regular users and non-users of cut fruits. Maybe you can help us with these participants with local loyalty cards, and do the actual consumer work, focus group discussion, interviews, online surveys, and later on evaluation of improved products as soon as we get that innovation cycle going. So that's the end of my presentation. I would like to thank, in behalf of our team, the supervisory team here, Aaron at the back, Tom, and Roger. We would like to thank the ARC Training Center and our partners Perfection Fresh and Woolworths, as well as CSIRO for helping us with this project.